What's up, Mayank?
What's up, Abhinav? How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man. It's been long, like it's been a week again. So for all those who are new to this format, this is Whiteboard Live, where Abhinav and I discuss a lot of things about design, product, and what's going on right now around the world in terms of design and product. And we answer a lot of everyone's questions. And this is a live episode based thing that we are doing every week, every Thursday 9 p.m. on Whiteboard.fm YouTube channel. So hey man, how's it going? Like the cohort's coming to an end. The new cohort's about to start. You started with the applications and accepting and sending the acceptance emails.
Yes.
And I also just saw a tweet of yours where you're being a part of cohort of some other program as well, man. That's pretty cool.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, man. For now, the first cohort officially ends on Monday, right? So I can't believe it's been 3 months. Unofficially, we're still working on the final project right now, which is, for those of you who don't know, the 3-month cohort, we teach you everything related to design. And towards the end, you get to apply this on a real problem statement from a partner startup. I don't want to reveal what startups we have right now, but these are, I would say, a couple of seed companies, couple of Series A startups you've definitely heard of. So we have one in fintech, one in SaaS, one in health and wellness. We have one travel startup and one ed tech startup. So that's going on. I think officially ends on Monday, but I think we're going to push it a little bit more to make sure we can get some feedback sessions in. And then the next cohort starts on September 1st. For that, the spots are almost full, which is what I do is I keep a few reserve for late application people I think are interesting. So those, I think, over the next couple of days, I'm going to start sending out the offers. So a couple of spots remaining. Yeah, man. That's
great, man. Because it's been 3 months, dude. Also looking at all these new, the first cohort members, it feels like some kind of parenting of sorts, who started off as really aspiring designers and newbies, and now they are doing capstone projects, is what we call it, for companies that are out there and that are grilling it and just killing it.
Yeah, man. And I think it's definitely I think there's a bunch of benefits to this, which is doing assignments is definitely one thing that you can do to build up and practice. But when you actually get a problem statement, you realize, oh, wait, there's a lot of things to consider that you normally wouldn't for a hypothetical scenario, which is a lot of people do work on portfolio projects. And to give an analogy, people who work on portfolio projects, eventually when you do work on a freelance project, you're like, whoa, this is so different. Every project is so unique in, the business constraints you have, the industry that it's in, and there's a bunch of factors. Yeah.
Totally, man. And also, when you're doing your own project or when you're doing your self project, you're in this comfort space where you don't know all the variables. You're the one setting the variables for your project. But when you're working on a project offered by a company, shit gets real, and you're literally solving problems for things which will be used by millions of people.
True. Yeah, and it is millions actually, because some of the startups we've gotten for this thing are pretty big, and if not millions, hundreds of thousands in few cases.
Yeah. Bro, not just people, so much of money that's involved, and it all depends on your design choices and your design decisions. And later on, once you are in the company and when you're working, all of that hits in as well. So this is a really good intermediate stage, I feel, between that. And what's also good is that our cohort members are already in the process of applying for jobs at these companies. Yeah. And some of them are giving interviews, and they're at that point when they can taste it and they can feel it that they're already a part of that company. And if irrespective of whether they've gotten in or not, they now know that they feel so close to being there, and now know what is left for elevating it.
In fact, just yesterday I connected a few more people,
Oh,
sent
nice.
a couple more intro emails. What is happening is that I haven't, of course, publicly shared our cohort or the work, although that is a big project we have coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to be sharing and showcasing case studies from every single person who's been in part of this cohort. But besides that, I've privately shared our cohort list with a bunch of companies. I would say at this point, I don't know what the number is. It's more than 10, close to 20. Okay. Anyways, so that's going good, man. What's going on with you?
So I've been a part of small workshops as well lately. I've been focusing a bit on marketing and trying to perfect things which I was not sure of, which I felt I knew, but just cleaning up and polishing bits and pieces of that such that I can help our cohort members in learning that as well. One of them being LinkedIn marketing and how to build a personal brand on LinkedIn.
Let's talk about our online courses that we're taking elsewhere. So you are taking Cincinnati's LinkedIn workshop.
Yep.
I'm taking this course coming up soon called Building a Second Brain. Tell me yours, then I'll tell you about mine.
Cool, man. So I've taken the 5-day workshop at Cincinnati, and what his course is, it's basically showing and like letting all the participants and cohort members know what's the actual power of LinkedIn that it has, and how much of it are you utilizing it, and if you're using it well or not as well. And mainly it's revolved around 3 kinds of people. One, who are looking for a job. Second, who are looking for generating more leads. And third, who are looking forward to build their own business.
Okay.
So these 3 kind of people are there, and it varies, and there are multiple steps in maximizing your LinkedIn growth. And it starts with starting with figuring out what exactly is your requirement. Like, why do you want to use LinkedIn? What are you trying to gain value for? Are you trying to build a personal brand? Are you trying to are you trying to generate leads? Are you trying to grow your business or get more clients? What is it exactly? And based on that, you need deep dive into what steps should you take in order to make that happen.
Nice. And this is like a 5-day.
It's a 5-day.
Okay, got it. Nice, man. That's cool. I've enrolled in this thing called Building a Second Brain. So it's by this dude Tiago Forte, who's he's like this author. He has a blog. He basically was a management consultant. Basically does consulting for a lot of companies around knowledge management and information. And man, I can just tell you upfront, like, this is the nerdiest course I've ever enrolled in. Nerdiest purchase, I would say. Number one, it's a course about, this sounds very vague. It's about knowledge management. And basically what a second brain is an external system, a system for knowledge management that lives outside your head. That's what it's all about. So this, you can technically do it in terms of your personal productivity, your work, projects that you're working on. And it's a pretty hardcore course. It costs more than $1 lakh or something. But one of the main reasons I am taking it is this is one of the most interesting cohort-based programs out there, right? Like, these guys have been, so they're currently in their 11th cohort. And Tiago, he puts out a lot of free content as well. So if anybody's interested, you can check that out. And a lot of the principles there have been sort of a guiding thing for me to figure out how to structure the 10K designers cohort as well. So in one sense, this is sort of like a bit of research to get new ideas for how we can make the 10K designers cohort experience better for all future and current cohorts. Because they have this amazing system where, so they've got live classes, they've got mentors, they've got alumni mentors coming in, which is something we are doing this upcoming cohort as well. We're going to get some alumni.
Yep.
So that's interesting, man. I think that's one of the main reasons. Let's see. Yeah.
I like this, man. The cohort members are upskilling to teach their fellow cohort members as well.
Yeah.
such that we are learning and upskilling ourselves to teach our cohort members, and the current cohort members will be doing the same to teach the new cohort members.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a great ecosystem that's building up.
Because I think what's useful is, I mean, one of the most useful parts about this is that 3 months it's a big crash course, which is it helps you get from scratch to being able to do any project using the design process. But there's a lot of these smaller things which can't be taught, which only come with experience. Things like how do you collaborate? How do you give feedback? How do you work with other people on a team? Right? These are typically things you figure out on the job when you eventually do it. But there's no reason why you can't have that experience right now. It's just that nobody's done it before. So that's super interesting. Yeah.
Aligned, bro. Definitely aligned. Like, this is something which it's new for us as well. Like, we weren't sure of things that could be taught in a cohort-based setting as well, and we did not know a cohort setting would work, whether it would work or not either. So it's a experimentation process for us as well, that we're figuring out that okay, this is something we assumed could only be taught when you're working on doing it firsthand, but now we're realizing it can be taught to people in a cohort-based setting as well.
And I think what's very interesting is that doing something like this, what we've done, opens up a lot of networking and community opportunities, which is just in terms of networking. We had a general idea,
Yeah.
but play out right now. Like the way we've gotten the Capstone projects, the way people are, sending messages to hire people from the thing. The networking and community part has been super great. And I think it's only the beginning. I think there's a lot more. Like, we've just scratched the surface of that networking and this thing. The alumni network is gonna play out in an interesting way.
So I have a question.
Anyways, let's talk about something
I have
else.
a question about this. Actually, that tell me this thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you had a plan, right? When we were starting off at 10K, you had certain expectations, but then also might have been certain things which you did not expect and happened for the better. What were those? A couple of things.
So, number one would definitely be that it's been interesting to see the progress of the 30 people, which is I wouldn't have been able to guess each person where they're going to be 3 months later. Like, I thought I would be able to, like, by looking at their work or this thing, but people have taken very unique paths, and some people have accelerated super fast. Some people started off slow and then suddenly accelerated. And it's been great to sort of see that outcome that personally I did not expect. Not that I didn't expect they'd do well.
Right.
100% they're going to do well. But I didn't expect the variability there. So it's been a big surprise to me to see that these 3 months have been so different for so many different people. Yeah.
Nice, man. Cool. So a lot of people have joined us, but they're not enough.
Yeah, man.
So you guys, the drill. Hit the like button.
We can start with.
Yeah, man. So hit the like button. Drop your questions that we can answer.
Growing businesses need a hosting solution that is powerful yet.
My bad. That was my computer. Yeah, man.
So,
Mayank, tell me this.
Yeah. Go on, Abhinav.
Yeah, go on. What were you saying?
Okay. So there was one question that what's the strength?
No, I was going to say. Okay, I'll tell you. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Okay.
We're going to take a few guests. We're going to take a few guests on with people on the stream.
Cool. Cool, man. Let's do that.
We'll start in a bit, bro. I'm still scouting some guests. So,
cool.
You have any questions that you seeing in the? I'm seeing a lot of repeat questions. Things around payments. Why no debit card EMI? There is a debit card EMI. It's just that by default, a lot of debit cards don't support EMI. So there's a bunch of people who've been able to call up their bank and say, "Hey, can you enable EMI on my card?" And that's about it. So that is something you can totally do. Is there an email option available? Yes, there is. I just spoke about that.
What's the size of cohort 2?
So size of cohort 1 was 30 people. Cohort 2 is going to be slightly above 30. I have a number in mind, but I don't want to 100% talk about it right now. We are trying to figure out, like, I did want to increase it a little bit. The main reason was we have this additional layer coming on, which is like the alumni mentors. We have industry mentors as well. We've got, I mean, I don't want to say it right now, but we've got people from some amazing companies, right? So we are increasing the size slightly, but I'm not sure what it would be. Yeah.
What's up, guys? Seems like no one has any question. Okay, how do you select people? So I'll answer that if it's fine. So we select people based on your applications. If you go when you go to 10kdesigners.com/masterclass, you can see a CTA to apply for the next cohort, and in that you have to fill a form. So based on your answers and based on your LinkedIn and whatever things you mentioned in your application, we select the cohort members based on that. Are the applications still open? Yes, the applications are still open. You can go to 10kdesigners.com/masterclass and apply for the next cohort, which starts on 1st September.
Yeah. So while applications are open, we are in a waitlist period, which is there's a few spots open which I've sort of saved for this thing. So there is a waitlist that I've sort of created, which has a bunch of folks on it.
Cool, guys.
I have nothing to talk about this live stream.
That happens a couple of times.
Yeah.
As a front-end developer, do you think UI UX knowledge will help? Yes, man. Not in terms of how to code, but knowing design in terms of having a general design idea about colors and type and layout and general how flows work would give you a better idea, which you can also suggest to your peers while you're coding. So that definitely is an advantage, but it's not a need to have skill.
I would say it depends on what you want to do. If you want to continue being a front-end developer, you don't need to go in depth on design. You can just learn the basics and try to integrate some of that into your thing. If you want to do a transition, you want to make a transition into design, then there's a bunch of stuff you should figure out as well. And typically what I've seen is it takes some time to break away from your existing mindset, which is developers, for example, have a very different mindset from designers. For a developer, a lot of the decisions you make are around feasibility, timelines, what kind of frameworks to use, versus for a designer, it's more about starting from very broad thinking, which is what can be done. Forget about feasibility at this point, let's explore, and then sort of narrow down. Yeah.
Another question is by Josh. I've done a bootcamp with some bootcamp,
Yeah.
and he's already working as a UX designer, but he still feels there's more to learn. Is the cohort still for him, or should he continue self-learning?
See, personally, I don't think I can answer this for you. The main reason is that, so the reason people come to the 10K designers cohort is definitely for the upskilling part. That's something we heavily focus on, but also for the networking and community aspects of it. So, but then at the same time, what I do want to say is also that it's not an easy program, which is, it is about at least 10 hours at the very minimum per week to actually do the assignments and everything. And I would say it does require a strong intention from you, which is learning concepts is the first thing you'll be doing. Like beyond that, there's a huge stack of things above it. So yeah, but I would say it's totally up to you. Maybe what you can do is you can talk to some of the people who are in the existing cohort, and maybe if they have specific specific questions you want to ask, a lot of those folks are designers already. Some of them were designers before they joined the program as well. You can probably ask them. Mayank, you want to actually show some case studies from our cohort? That is something we can do.
We can do that, bro. Also, like, I feel we can get the cohort members themselves to explain it as well.
Interesting. Maybe we should have set this up properly. Okay. Cool. We'll do that next live stream. I think that's a good idea. What we can do is we can get the cohort members on the live to explain their work. I think that can be cool. Yeah.
So Rohan had this question: how and why did you transition from front-end developer to a product designer? That's towards me. So here's the thing, right? When I was doing front-end, I started as a front-end developer, and while I was coding, I was realizing I was not building things which are functional, but not things which are exciting, which made me want to come back to it and use it as a user. Like, I was using things, it was functional, people were getting, it was helping in getting the job done, but it was not something which I would personally come back to and want to use it, which is why I started doing designing as well. I started graphic designing, then I started doing UI UX, and in one of my internships, I got this really great advice where I was telling one of my colleagues that I'm not sure whether I want to continue development or design or both, and I was told a very simple statement which resonated with me, at least. And he said that I'll be valued a lot more if I'm a designer who can code than if I am a coder who can design. Now, I'll leave that to everyone's own interpretation, but that resonated with me a lot, and I decided that I want to do product design as a professional in a company, and if I code, I want to do that for myself.
That's an interesting quote, man. Repeat. Let's frame it again. What was it?
So the statement was just this, that as a designer, I'll be valued more as a designer who can code than a coder who can design.
Get it. And that totally makes sense. I totally get that. Yeah.
That was the move. After that, I was like, clarified everything for me. After that, I was like, okay, now I know what I want to do, that I want to do product design in a company, and I'll code for myself.
Okay, let's, we have one guest joining in. Rohan, what's up, bro? You're on the air. Rohan, what's up?
Hey guys, what's up?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Good.
So, how's everything? What have you been up to?
It's going great. I'm currently working on the Capstone project that I have. It's on the edtech basis. So yeah, it's going great. Currently, I've been doing a bit of research of how edtech startup work, what kind of data do I require, and what kind of metrics do I follow through.
Yeah.
So that's it.
You can reveal the name of the startup, bro. It's okay.
Okay, so it's one of my very favorite companies since I'm a big fan of the founders. It's Avalon Meta, and I really I'm a part of the Avalon army. It's been a while since I've been a part of Avalon army, and it's really exciting to work in such a great startup.
Yeah, nice. So tell me more, bro. Tell me more about this project. So you don't have to go into the depths, but talk about the problem statement. Yeah.
Okay, so the problem statement is to basically gamify how I refer my friends, or you as an audience refer your friends to join Avalon Army or the Meta app. And since it's a digital university, it's a very good concept that you can literally add anybody. Let's say I am from VIT and my friend who's from NIT Silchar. It's literally miles apart in real world, right? But when somebody who is sitting literally miles apart can join a university with you on the internet, it's a really great concept. So now what I have to do in this problem statement is to make it more appealing for any user to invite their friends to join the app. So it's a very good problem statement to work upon, and there are a bunch of edge cases that you can explore and have fun around. Just you can literally sit at nights doing work on this. It's really interesting.
Yeah. So basically, I'll add some more context as well. Most so this is speaking to the viewers, most companies do have a bit of a referral loop that they try to add into their products, right? If you work on products, you'll realize that typically to acquire users, there's a cost of acquisition, which is you either run ads or you do paid marketing. With a referral program, which is your existing users refer more users, you get these users at a zero cost of acquisition. So typically, it's a great idea for companies to really refine and work on using referral programs. So some examples of this would be, a bunch of companies say you get 1 month free in your subscription if you invite an additional user, or get your next 2 classes free for every user that you get. And what's very interesting about referrals is it is very similar across apps. Like it is sharing a link, sharing a unique thing. Like Cred, for example, has a great referral system, which is when you invite a person to Cred, it generates this image for you, which says, Mayank invited you to Cred. And then you get the, what do they call, man? The points that you get for inviting.
So you get a gem after every referral.
Gems are separate from the coin.
So you get a coin equal to the amount you're paying on Cred when you're paying your bill, and you get after every successful referral.
Yeah, so I think this will be a very interesting project, Rohan, because the Meta community is already so active. Like
True.
I've seen you in the Discord, like spending time, streaming your process, streaming games,
Yes.
streaming, the workshop that you did recently as part of that.
Yeah.
as well. So it's sort of interesting to design for an audience that you are a part of and follow so closely.
Exactly. In fact, one very good point here that I have is, since I'm already like proactive in the Avalon community, I'm in fact doing a workshop through which, like, instead of like, even though I'll teach a few people how to use Figma, which is very basic, but a lot of people like don't understand, it feels very intimidating for them. I'll also be doing a bit of user research through it, so that I'll get a good user base, and like just the way Abhinav did long back when he was starting 10K, it's just a very similar concept where I'll get a lot of opinions, and user research will become very easy for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. I think Avalon right now is in a very interesting place because the Meta app has a bunch of stuff coming up.
True.
A lot of activity now on Discord. Like, I think it's reached 10,000 people now, right?
Yeah, it has.
And I don't want to tell people more than they should know at this point, but there's a bunch of integrations coming up between the Discord and the app.
Yeah.
And a bunch of interesting pro leagues as well. So that should be interesting. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Rohan, do you have any other things you want to talk about? Any things you want to discuss?
Nothing as such. Like,
Cool, man. All right.
see ya.
Cool. See you. Bye-bye. Dude, we definitely need to do a session. Maybe we can do something like demo day sessions, or maybe we can call it Capstone Day or something like that, which is like one day where we do a live stream where everybody gets to talk about their capstone project.
Sure, man. We can make the 7th live session our demo day.
7th, I'm not sure. This is 6th, right?
Right.
I think it might be somewhere around 8th or 9th, because folks will have to finish the assignment. Finish the project, and then probably it'd be good if there's a case study.
That would be for the Capstone project, but they also have written case studies beforehand.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe let's do it for the Capstone project.
Okay.
Because these can be like interesting to sort of see the design process that was followed to reach something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Is there anyone from the community? Anyone from the community is planning to join as well?
No, bro, not at the moment.
Got it.
Yeah.
So Shivam asks, was it hard to change your profile from a front-end dev to a product designer? Not really. Like, one advantage I did have is that while I was making this shift, I was still in college. So while I was in college, I got a better idea of what I want to do. And after that, I directed my portfolio towards that. And also, I did not think of it such a way that, okay, I'm shifting from a developer's portfolio to a designer's portfolio, so I should just throw away whatever I've done as a developer. No, I thought of using that as a leverage So whatever I was building henceforth, even if I was doing any development projects, I made sure that I would do design as well, so that I could have good skills in both. And actually okay, for those who don't know, this is something which not a lot of people know, that when I was applying for cred, when I did when I did a cold outreach to our head of design, I sent him a link to my freelance project, which I designed and developed. And he asked me questions not about my design. Initially asked me about my skills as a JavaScript developer. And because he also started as a developer and then became a designer, so it was a very different conversation. And later I got to know that the person who I freelance for is a really close friend of the design team. And after I joined, they all were like, hey, do you know this person? I was like, yeah, I know this guy Advait. And I was like, I freelance for him. So it just worked in like serendipity.
Let me take this question. Mohammed says, have you guys met any colorblind designers? What are the challenges that they face? How should one tackle? So I can tell you actually a very great example of this. Should I screen share? Okay, 1 second. There's a friend of mine, Kushagra. We met at housing.com. We were on the same team. So at Housing, the thing that we did was we were a part of this team called Housing Labs, where we would try to come up with the moonshot projects, which is new projects that the company can work on that they're not working on yet. And Kushagra, he in fact started as a front-end developer as well. Currently, now he does design, and he's an indie developer. Like, he has a bunch of iOS apps on the market. Let me show you. So he's actually built an app for colorblind designers. And how it works, let me show you. Crazy. He's worked on this app called Cone. And what Cone lets you do is it's a color picker with which you can actually pick out hex codes from the real world. So initially, he sort of started this as a way for designers to pick up color inspiration. Does the stream look fine, Mayank, by the way?
Yeah, the stream looks fine, man.
Okay, cool. So initially started as a way to use as a color picker from the real world, where you can get hex codes from your environment. You're a really great sunset or whatever, you can actually save that for later and share this to your computer directly. Or you can collect these palettes. But one interesting thing he did was since he's colorblind, his original goal of doing this was a way to pick up colors from the real life and verify what they are. So this is one of his side projects. It's doing extremely well. In fact, he was even able to get a partnership with Pantone. So it was very interesting to see the kind of marketing he's done for it, which is he's identified different use cases. So designers need this to do this thing. People who are colorblind use this for this sort of use case. People who are interior designers use it for picking out Pantone colors. Now, if you know anything about Pantone colors, it's basically the book that you get, which has a bunch of these predefined colors, and you can get swatches that you can use. So he sort of actually did an official partnership with Pantone. And a lot of people use this as interior design. So I would say, I don't really have any insight on his experience being a colorblind designer, but it was definitely interesting to see how he sort of used his story, in a way, his own personal experience, and was able to channel it into a very profitable side project, which is Cone app. So that was cool to see. Yeah. Anish has a question, which is, can you talk about dopamine detox? Yeah, man, sure. I would actually love to. So let me set some background context. There are times every single day, multiple times a week, where you don't feel motivated to do work, right? And a lot of times you're not able to identify what the source of motivation is. Sometimes you feel like you're down, right? Sometimes you feel like you're tired. Sometimes you feel like you're low on energy. sometimes you feel like you can't sit on at a particular task continuously. You sort of keep checking your phone in between, or you do this, or you keep getting pulled into meetings or something else. You're not really able to focus. The idea of a dopamine detox, the philosophy of it is that our neurochemistry, we're too bombarded by dopamine throughout the day. So when you're browsing Instagram, for example, every time you scroll to a new post, you have no idea what you're going to see. So there's that excitement in your head, and you keep sort of going through this, and you get a rush every time you see something interesting. If you don't see something interesting, you scroll and hope that you now see something interesting. It's sort of like a gambling thing. It's like a slot machine. You keep seeing this stuff. And what this does is it makes it harder for you to focus on certain tasks, which is, this gives you instant gratification, which is instant hits of the dopamine. But for doing difficult things, which is, for example, doing any sort of design work, you need to sit for 1 to 3 hours and actually focus, be in Figma, be in your notebook, do all of this. And you have to do longer periods of work. And you don't get that dopamine hit immediately. You get it at the end of 3 hours. But you haven't trained your mind to wait that long for a dopamine hit, because your mind is used to getting it instantly. So when you try to do something which is delayed gratification, your mind sort of starts putting up these resistance barriers. So the idea for dopamine detox, I am not an expert on this. This is just something I do every once in a while. You can definitely look up YouTube, but in general, it's identifying what these sources of dopamine are for you. For a lot of people, it's social media and Instagram. For a lot of people, it's gaming, right? Playing PUBG, amazing hit of dopamine, right? One of the best hits of dopamine. There's a bunch of different things that you might have in your life that give you dopamine hits. The idea is not to cut yourself off immediately. It's not to delete social media. It's not to stop gaming. You can still continue doing those things. But the idea is you give yourself a detox break. It's almost like you're fasting. So instead of not eating, you're on an information fast, where you are now fasting for a certain duration of time, and you uninstall Instagram, you uninstall PUBG, and set a duration for which you want to do this, which is, you don't have to do this for like a month or a week. Literally, you can do this for a 48-hour period, right? And at the end of this, one thing that I have noticed, I start feeling a little, I don't know what to call it, not energetic, but it's almost like, I'm like, shit, I haven't done anything. Or like, shit, I want to do something. I'm so bored. Like, I'm not getting any gratification because I'm just sitting and not doing anything. So then I just start doing work instead, because that's now my only remaining source of dopamine. So in general, that's the idea. I haven't experimented too much with it, but this should help you set up your own experiments around for dopamine detox. Yeah.
Everyone in the comments is saying ABNUX 2 Whiteboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, dopamine is something which, I haven't articulated or really bothered to articulate. But yeah, definitely there are times when you're spending too much time on social media and then you're not able to do much of work. It's because your body is just wanting to get back to it instead of staying away from it.
Yeah. So I would say it's best to treat it as an experiment.
Yeah.
Which is, you don't necessarily need to. I'll tell you what, there's a very tricky part about this, which is saying that you're going on a fast, a dopamine fast, and publicly posting this on Twitter saying, I am not going to use Twitter for the next 48 hours. That gives you a dopamine rush as well.
Yeah.
Right. And then that defeats the purpose. So it's almost, the way to do it is to just suddenly do it before your mind has the time to come up with excuses or come up with, oh, maybe we can do it tomorrow. How about that? Before your mind has the time to negotiate with you, you just do it. Set a time, 24 hours or 48 hours. And I think that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Chetan's asking, what's up, Chetan, by the way? He's asking if we can reveal anything new that we're doing for the next cohort.
there's a bunch of things we're doing new. One thing I can tell you about is we are, from day one itself, we're going to be creating teams. That is one very interesting development, which is, as part of this first cohort, we did this one experiment where we tried to incorporate team assignments as well as solo assignments. And the team assignments actually had great impact. The output was amazing. Like all 4 of those assignments, I sort of didn't even have to, like, they're just really, really good. All of that collective energy coming in together. And I think it's been very interesting because it helps you with additional motivation, which is a lot of people are doing this after work or they're doing it on weekends. And, after you've come back from work, or not come back, you're at home only, but after you're done with work, it can feel really tiring. Like, now you have to sit down in Figma, or you have to make your brain work a little bit more. With team assignments, you sort of get that energy from everybody else, where you just have to be present and then you automatically just get into the groove of things. So what we are going to try to do for cohort 2 is every alternating assignment is going to be a team assignment. So number of solo assignments roughly stays the same. Some of them have been converted to team assignments. And I think this will give a lot more to know everybody as well. We want a second reveal as well. Okay, I'll do a stacked reveal. That was the reveal number 1. Reveal number 2 is we are getting, every single team is going to have 2 people assigned to it. Number 1 is going to be an alumni mentor. This is somebody from the current cohort who's going to be rejoining, and they're going to be helping you figure out a lot of the things that you would need to as a newbie in design. Number 2 is we're getting an industry mentor assigned to your team, which is each team will actually be super small. It'll be like 5 people. And you are going to have a direct one-to-one contact with somebody who's a designer at an amazing product company in India. Actually, not just India. We have mentors from abroad as well. Amazing designer from a great product company. So what we're hoping this will be able to do is get a lot more community interactions going. And I think this will help flow into the overall, I feel like this team-based thing is going to have a little bit of team-based competition, which is that team did this, they were good in their first project, and now we're going to do that. So in fact, this sort of idea, Avalon Meta does this for their pro leagues. They do team-based activities. So, that's where I got the idea from, and we're implementing it this cohort onwards. Yeah.
That's great. When do you feel we are going to be at a good place to reveal all this? Like, who are the mentors, industry mentors going to be, and all of that?
Soon. So, man, Chetan, we would have loved to have you as an industry mentor, but we know your current situation with Apple won't allow that. But maybe in the future, man, you're definitely a part of the community, so we can make something happen. Yeah.
Cool, man. We are reaching the end of our life. So for all those who are watching, you can drop us any questions that you want us to answer. You can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
Do I have a third reveal? Hold on. We're going to make this super exciting, okay?
Okay.
Some people in the cohort already know this, but this is probably the first time I'm publicly announcing this. Every single person who's a part of cohort 1 can participate in cohort 2 free of cost. Which is, if you're in cohort 1 right now and you want to experience this team-based activity, you want to do all this for whatever reasons, I think the biggest advantage will be that you get to keep working on your skills, which is you don't have to stop because the 3 months are over. You can continue working on the assignments. And this is an option we're rolling out. I don't know if we'll have this forever, but all cohort 1 members can participate in cohort 2 free of cost. So you get to participate in 2 cohorts. Yeah, that's the reveal.
Nice. Yeah, man, that's going to be fun for a lot of them, because for a lot of them who've later slowed down maybe, or didn't feel like they did enough justice to their first cohort experience, they can buck up and like do justice to, like it's like getting a second chance. So that's amazing.
Yeah, because one thing I've realized is it's not about like I don't want to be like, oh, 3 months over, get out, figure it out, like that. It's a very college type of thing to do.
Yeah.
Because I realized that different people need different amounts of time to really get used to or really get into the routine. And it doesn't hurt to have lifelong learning. Like, why does learning need to happen in this box of time? Learning is not this is a metaphor I'm picking up from building a second brain, but it's not a container, it's a stream. Right? You can't just contain it like this. It's a continuous stream that you have to keep replenishing from. So hopefully this should help with that. Yeah.
Nice. Cool, man. So what do you want to do now? Do you want to end this live or?
Dude, we can do a bit of a rapid fire. I think we have, let's do about five more minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cohort 1 versus cohort 2.
Dude, we're gonna have some competition. Yeah.
It's still going to be majorly a collaboration though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, definitely. The teams are gonna be mixed. But definitely, I think this is a big example, probably the biggest example so far, of how the alumni program, the alumni network of the 10K designers is going to work out. And this is not something I had planned on doing.
Yeah.
It's an idea that came to me as I was doing the mentor structure. So yeah. Mayank, let's talk about Whiteboard Season 3. We need some updates.
Cool, man. So, our last episode, should I start revealing the guests? I think I'd done a couple of them when I was with Ansh, but not a lot of people got to know about that. So,
yeah, man, for sure, go for it.
Cool. So I'll reveal like
all of them. Let's reveal like 50% of the guests.
Cool. I'll reveal like 4 to 5 of them. So our initial guests of season 3, once I start uploading, it's going to be Darshan Gajara, founder of Product Disrupt, Ivy Mukherjee, who recently was working at Grab. Our third guest is Nitish Yadav, who's the product designer at Headout, and he's been doing a lot of work with regards to typography in augmented reality and virtual reality. Then we've got Bro. This process is. Then we've got Gyan Lakhwani, who's recently started working as a full-time UX designer at Microsoft. We've got Zain Khoja, who was working at Instagram as a product design intern. So we've got a lot of senior level and junior and designers who are just starting off. And a big advantage to the cohort members, which like not many people know right now, is that the cohort members have had early access to these interviews, such that they've been watching it live and asking and getting the questions answered live with the guests and interacting with them.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the secret Whiteboard Live. Like this Whiteboard Live is the public one everybody knows about. There's actually an underground Whiteboard Live, which is all the episodes we're doing for the next season. We've done them, actually not all of them, most of them. We've done them live for the cohort members. So they've been able to actually directly ask questions and be a part of that as we were recording it for all of you.
So for all those who are joining the next cohort, you guys know this now, that for the seasons of the Whiteboard seasons that are going to be coming up ahead, you guys are going to be getting access to majority of them first.
I like that name though, dude. Whiteboard Underground. Part says Illuminati Whiteboard. Yeah. Cool, man. Mayank, let's end this. This has been a great session. I think we revealed a lot of stuff this session.
Yeah.
For folks who are interested in enrolling in cohort 2, it is a little late, I would say. Most spots are full already. But what you can do is drop an application. Even if you don't end up joining this cohort, you'll start getting updates about the next one. So you will then get early access to the next one. Beyond that, you can check out Instagram. Mayank, I think our Instagram is on pause right now. We'll probably pick this up a couple of weeks later once we have.
Later. Whiteboard has been on a pause apart from live right now. Like, but once we're coming back, we're gonna go all out. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah. Besides that, that's about it. I'll see you all on next Thursday with Whiteboard Live. And till then, peace.
See you guys.